Hey, hey, hey.
One, two, one, two.
Woo.
Here we go. It's my time to rise.
Hey,
It's my
hey,
time to
hey.
shine. It's my time to live. It's my time to fly.
Hello,
It's
good
my
evening.
time.
How y'all doing?
It's my time. I can see it. I can feel it. Time has come now to reveal it. I've been waiting for a long time.
Just wanted to let some people know we are out
And won't
here.
let nothing hold me down. Gotta do it. Because I may not get another chance. I believe it. If I want it, I can have it. I believe
Yes, ladies and
it. Done
gentlemen.
with falling, done with losing.
Let's have a
I can
conversation.
do it. I think I'll tell myself again. I
Oh,
can do
thank you.
it.
I appreciate that.
And I'm not gonna stop till I win. 'Cause it's my time to
Just trying to let people tell their story, that's all. Yes. It's time for Kamal. Kamal speaks. It's his time to shine tonight. I know a couple of people are spread out here on Instagram because we got a couple of things going on. Hey, Preston, how you doing? I got to go ahead and get my man to come on over here, see where he at. Make sure he comes. All right. Hey, there he go. Listen, brother, it's your time to shine.
Hold on. Let me send this out to a couple of people. Let's get some people in here.
Oh, yeah, they're going to start coming. Dawn has her live ending right now. There's a couple people over there, about 90 of them over there. So she's doing a little love connection, you know.
Let's get our own 100 in here.
Yes, sir. It's our time. It's your time to shine, brother. How you doing this evening? Once you finish, I'll let you to sit back a little bit so we can see you. I'm excited about this. Just getting the opportunity. You know, see, I don't worry about the numbers right here personally because I'm tell you what I do. I also send this out. It goes to other countries. It goes on YouTube, LinkedIn. It goes on Facebook Live. So it's going to be spread out. So you don't have to worry about that. The people will see it. That's for sure.
I want people to know you.
I got you. Well, thank you. I started to put my little banner up, you know, but I was running today because, you know, I used to be in the industry. Back in the day, I had a production company as well. And I started to put it up, you know. This is my banner from back when I used to do productions. I used to say the artist, you know, but I said I'm not going to do that because I ain't have time. I've been running around today, and I said I'm not doing that today. But check this out. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just coming in, let me go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Crystal Bodie Smith, and today we have the honor of speaking to a young man out of Brooklyn, New York, my hometown. His name is Kamal Speaks, and we are so excited. This young man has a background in sales, which he got by his uncle, who was a bodyguard for Malcolm X, you know, and he has a lot of knowledge to share. I know that he sold some oils, some books, and guess what, y'all? You know those people who used to knock on your doors back in the day and used to sprinkle some dirt on the floor? And they used to tell you let them come on in. Them Kirby vacuum cleaners? Yes, he sold Kirby too. So I take this time to introduce to some and present to others my homeboy, the poet on these IG streets like no other, Mr. Kamal Speaks. I want to bring you on, sir, and I would love, if you would just introduce yourself to people. And they know you as the poet out here. But I want to go back. I want to go back to where was Kamal born? How was Kamal as a child? Let's go back a little bit. And welcome.
How you doing? Well, I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Bushwick, born and bred. My family is from the dark side of Bushwick. For those who don't know, that's like Halsey Street and up all the way to past Moffett, but they grew up on Moffett and surrounding streets. That's where my mother's from. My father's from Harlem. I believe it's, I forgot the name of the projects, but they're from Harlem. Then they moved down to the east side. I was raised, we moved when I was about 4 years old to the Bushwick, Minnehaha and Central. I grew up in Hope Garden Projects. That's where I started at.
Now you break it up a little bit. I don't know if it's the room that you're in or whatever, but you're chopping up a little bit.
Am I chopping? Yes, I look pretty clear to me.
Yeah, you're clear up. It's just chopping up a little bit, but it'll get better, hopefully.
All right. Am I chopping up to the viewers, people?
Let us know if he's chopping up to you, you know. So you said they were from the project. I'm from Wagner Project, 125th between 1st and 2nd, you know.
Yeah, they was from the projects, but see, you on the east side.
Right.
Yeah, you on the east side. They grew up on the west side, but by the time I was born, they was on the east side. They was on 100. They was right there, Franklin Plazas, right next to Wilson and all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long have you been where you are now? Where are you? Did you leave there, and how did you get to where you are? Take us from the little boy in Brooklyn to the man we see today.
Little boy in Brooklyn. When I started off in Brooklyn as a child, my father was my hero. The person I wanted most like was Muhammad Ali. I wanted that fame Muhammad Ali had. I didn't understand how deep the man was, but I wanted that fame. I know if Muhammad Ali came to 125th Street, he would stop traffic in all 4 directions. I wanted that, you know, and I just knew I loved Muhammad Ali. But then as I got older, my pops left, and I'm really starting to see more what's in the street. You know, I went from that kid mentality, like, you know, the inside of a Dutch mask. I used to see that. Like, hey, that's crackheads. Crackheads have been here. But now I'm shit. And I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, that's the weed.
Yes.
And I went from wanting to be Muhammad Ali to Nino Brown. And
wow. Yeah.
One thing I learned in my life is whatever I had put my mind to, 9 times out of 10, that's what was going to happen. So by this time, as I'm getting older, I'm planning to be the illest gangster the streets have ever heard about. And I'm putting in that work. I'm in them streets. I'm hitting them hard. I'm coming at them hard, like from all angles. I was a savage in the streets, you know? Like, I lived the street code. You know, one of my poems started by saying, I lived the street code that was so cold it was cold-blooded. Broke bread with humans that slithered on their stomachs. And that was real, you know?
Let me ask you something. Is that a goal for most little boys growing up in the project, in the streets of cities like New York City? They want to be a thug. Is that what they look toward being?
But I don't know about every child, but I know in my era, because I'm speaking from growing up in the 80s and 90s, in my era, I mean, I don't even know about the rest of them, but I know it was a good amount of us, and that's what attracted me. You know, I'm looking at the Nino Brown movies. I'm looking at all the gangster movies. Then I'm seeing gangster shit on the street. Like, the street was the movie, you know? So I'm looking at all this, and I'm like, yo, that's where I want to be. I want to be in this life. You know, even as a kid, I always had a lot of fights and shit. That was nothing. I was never scared of nothing. So I was like, hey, fuck it. Might as well be a gangster, you know? People respect the gangsters.
Let's talk about that for a minute. You know, Kamal, back in the day, we used our hands. These kids today, they don't know how to use their hands. They don't even try to use their hands, you know. What you think about that?
Well, to be real with you, I was always a fighter. But then when I graduated to a gun stage, I was like, ooh, why fight anymore? I can shoot the hell out of you. That was my point of view. And, you know, when I really was in the streets was in the 90s. And that's what was going on. There was a lot of shooting. You know, we had fights. But if I could shoot you, why fight you? That was
wow.
So why would I even try to fight you when I got my gun on me? Why?
Right.
Why not shoot the shit out of you? That was my frame of mind back then. Like, I'm gonna shoot the shit out of you. I'm gonna be honest with you right now.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't fight nobody today, and I got my gun on me. I'm not fighting you. I'll try to talk you that, hey, brother, we don't need to do this. But I got my gun on me. I'm not here because I can be killed in a fight.
Yes. Yes. So let me ask you this: when did your mindset change and you began that businessman? Because I know that when you did get with Kirby, I mean, let's talk about it. Even selling the oils and doing the things in the street. A lot of people don't realize brothers in the street, they have to have a business mind to do what they do in the street. Would you agree?
Yeah, my uncle used to make, God rest his soul, Salim, used to make 10,000 a day selling fake Gucci bags and all that stuff. He the one who really truly put me on to the hustle. Even though I had the hustle in me, but he taught me and directed it. I remember one time when I was little, we was in the projects. It was about like 12 of us kids, and we found this box full of bells. I mean, like a couple of boxes full of bells, big bells and little bells. All the kids wanted to play with it. I'm like, hell no. I said, what we're gonna do? We're gonna take the smaller kids. Each group take a small kid, and we're gonna go to the doors. We're gonna sell the little bells for 25 cents, and the big
Wow.
50 cents. And I swear, we went through the project, so all the bells. But then my uncle, he the one who put me onto it. Like, I remember the first time I went to work with him. I'm still in the streets. I'm still a thug, and me and my little cousin, I seen my uncle. I was like, hey, yo, uncle, let me get $20. I want to go and buy some bud. He's like, I got you. And my little cousin was like, yo, I want to buy some. I mean, we didn't say bud, but he was like, I want $20 too. He's like, I got you. Come on, come with me. And the selling spot. Now, we passing banks, the store. I'm like, where the fuck we going for this $20? So we go to the selling spot. I sit out there with him for about 4 hours. Don't do shit. He give us both 100. I peeped the whole scenery. I'm like, oh shit, he making mad bread. And I'm like, yo, like, and in them 4 hours, he made about $800. You feel me? Real quick, easy. I'm like, man, if he only out here for 400, if he out here for a whole day, that's a whole thing. I'm doubling up stuff. I'm going in my mind. So at the same time, me and my little cousin both said, I was like, I'm coming out here tomorrow. My little cousin like, I'm never coming back out here. So that came out the same time. So you can see how two people could be in
Yes.
that
Yes.
situation and
Yes.
think so differently about it.
Yes.
So that,
Wow.
I really got turned on to the selling. But what really changed my mind to leave the streets was my daughter. My daughter, she's going on 20 right now, and I'm locked up in Bingleton because I'm just gonna say this: somebody robbed a famous DJ and his people splashed them, took the diamond chain. I was arrested for it, you know. And while I'm fighting the case, and I'm facing so many years in jail, I mean, so many years, because I already got a record for the same shit, and I'm facing all these years, and my daughter came to see me on the visiting floor, and that's what we call we call the visiting floor, the VIP room. And she was playing on my face. She was a baby, like a couple months, like 7 months, playing on my face and everything. And then all the kids was doing that with their parents, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
And with their fathers. And I looked around, and I was like, and it was like it was normal. It was happy. It was normal. And I was like, oh no, this ain't for my daughter. Never, ever again. And from there, I was like, yo, I got to change. So when I came home, I started selling books again with this lady. I really made my mind up never to get into no shit. And it's so ironic, right? So I'm doing all this shit, right? And next thing you know, I started doing comedy. I was really good at comedy, you know, really good. Like I did shows with big names. I still know big names to today, like my boy Marshall Brandon. That's my dude. I mean, I was around the best of the best. Freddie Ricks, Smokey Suarez. I mean, all these big names. I'm around, and I'm doing my comedy. I'm raising pretty fast. And then a comedian named Rick Michaels chose to try to set me up and went into a whole bunch of bullshit, but it wasn't, because it just took me to the phase of my life where I ended up in North Carolina and I was homeless because I went there. I had called a couple people I know. I was like, yo, I need to come out there. And they thought I was on that street shit still. I'm like, nah, I'm not on that. But when I got out there, they thought I was talking cold. I'm like, nah, I'm not really about that. They was like, oh, but we ain't got a place for you to stay. So now I'm homeless, right? But it's not like I'm homeless because I'm young. I'm like, fuck out of here. This is like an adventure to me. So, make a long story short, I go to Kirby. I worked for Kirby for like 2 months when I was out of state. I go to Kirby. Dude tells me he'll give me $100 and I start work tomorrow. That's what I did. Within 6 months, I became the #1 dealer in the whole division. And in a year, I was promoted. I mean, within 6 months, I was promoted to a distributor trainee. That's one level under a boss. And I was the #1 distributor trainee in the world. I say within a year and a half, I was promoted to the top boss. 3 years later, 4 years later, I became, because I was always in like the high numbers, but I became #1 in the world.
Wow.
Kirby's. My best
Wow.
496. And
Wow.
I was selling a bunch of Kirby's. When I say a bunch of Kirby's, on my best year, I did 450,000 in profit. I mean, I averaged out about 275,000 a year for about 11 years. And that's, go ahead.
Can I ask you a question? So a lot of times when we see these brothers out here on the street corners, I used to always say they're the businessmen. I mean, they take that same mentality, the way they calculate their money and do everything, and if they go out in corporate, they can be very successful. Do you believe that what you did in the street helped to prepare you for sales with Kirby?
Yeah, because I was never afraid of a no. I used to tell my workers, look, I had to talk to 10 girls just to get 3 phone numbers just to get 1 girl to have sex with me. It was a numbers game. So I never was afraid of a no, so that made me great at sales.
Right.
I was never afraid of a no. So
Right.
it's like right now, even in poetry, like I believe in my work so much, I tell everybody my poetry. People are like, oh, you ain't afraid to go to them? Well, what am I afraid for? Either they're going to like it or they're not. And if they don't like it, that means it wasn't for them. And if they do like it, it was for them. So it's either or. So, and I learned that toughness from the streets. I mean, I got tough skin. You know, my stuff can't phase me.
Let me ask you a question. So your very first poem, was it written from a place of pain?
Well, actually, like I tell people, I've been writing poetry since July 2020. But and that's me considering myself a poet. I actually wrote my first 2 poems 20 years ago. I wrote one when I was locked up facing all that time, and my baby mother, I was like, man, the only way I can keep her, I ain't got no money, I'm broke, I'm locked up, I'm facing life. Let me write a poem. Wrote her a poem. Then I wrote one some like 5 years earlier when I was locked up. I was in the newspaper, most wanted and everything. I wrote a poem for my homeboy sister. And the funny thing is, I was trying to kick it to her before. I'm like, yo, blah, blah, blah. She was like, I don't like no thugs. I said, ain't no thug. I'm sensitive. I write poetry. She was like, well, write me a poem. So I wrote her a poem. So I wrote them 2. But my very first poem of me really writing poetry was in July 2020. And that was a place of, it wasn't pain. It was more because I was getting past the healing process. I was sleeping in my van, hotels, everything like that. So I was within my healing process. I ain't gonna say I was healed. I'm still not all the way healed. I am still healing and growing. And it was more of I had something to say, and I needed everybody to hear it.
Right.
I felt that the spokesperson for our people wasn't good at all. I felt that we wasn't represented right. I felt we was leaded astray blindly. And if you don't mind, can I say that poem?
You can. And somebody wants to come up. They're followed by you, so I'm going to ask you permission how you feel
Cool.
about that. It's Icy Man's Mama. Icy Man's Mama. Do you know who that is? You're following them, so they put in a request in to come to the camera. I will open it up if you have a question for
I
him or
I
something at some point. But at this point,
I
I wanted to see if you knew that person.
I can't see. I can't see who that is. Tell him to say something. I can't see.
Can you write in the comment who you are so he'll know who you are before we let you come up? And so the very first poem that you wrote, now is this the one that you did 20 years ago? The very first
No,
one that you want to do? Or this is which one?
this is my first poem of writing poetry. Remember, them other two poems was out of desperation.
Okay. And you remember it. And you remember your
I
very first
remember,
poem. Wow.
I remember everything. I don't write my poetry down. I make it in my head.
Wow.
So I write
So,
poetry in my head.
all right, I'm going to ask you to recite that. And then, in case there's somebody out here who wanted to be a poet but just don't know how to begin, I want you to let them know what it takes to become a poet and how they can have the courage to get in front of people, because it takes courage to speak in front of people, and how to read your audience and what it takes to be a successful poet. But yes, let us hear it.
Well, I'm gonna get into all that for those who want to know. I'm gonna show you how to really get in position, poetry, whatever you're doing to get in position. Okay, this is called Black Lives Don't Matter. Who represents me? Is it a reality? Is it justice for all or justice for me? Am I wrong because I don't trust my lawyer who has lunch with the district attorney, the same system that's trying to burn me? My situation, they laugh and joke. In the pens, I beat on my chest, brag and boast. It's funny how that slave ship stay afloat. And I'm not talking about whips and chains. It's more of a mental thing. White supremacy screaming, we ain't to blame, that y'all killing yourselves. But y'all own social media and everything else, including our wealth. Controlled us with subliminal messages, made us dumb with smartphone, internet, and text messaging. It's the day of the beast. 9/11 tricked us, made us think our enemies was from the Middle East. When in fact, they're from all over. I'm calling for every black man to be a soldier. I don't care if you're Muslim, Christian, or the Jehovah.
Mm.
So they got to witness this curse being uplifted. And this land built on lies, got us screaming about our lives and how they matter. Cycles must be broken. Traditions must be shattered in this so-called country of the brave. But it's funny. How's the whole world controlled by a man that originates from a cave? Got us shocked and amazed. This shit that happens every day. I know all about 50 George Floyds from around my way. And we marching for the police to go to jail? For real? We should be protesting for economical change. Stop worshiping diabolical things like whips, chick, sex, and a chick. Unity is power, and together that's rich. It's funny, I never seen a slave ship. Because we own this land. So how can you ever own this man? Feet the same color as sand, hair like wool. We make the rules. We allowed ourselves to be captured. But when we awaken, that will be the rapture. And if you don't believe me, check the credentials. Black lives don't matter. They're essential.
Mm, 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 mm,
And
mm.
at that time, I'm broke. I lost all my money sleeping in my van. I had charges put on me from a young I used to deal with, a lot of false accusations, a lot of craziness. And thank God all that's over now. Um, and that really just wrung the public out of me. And I mean, I thank God I went through it because it really evolved me. Before the charges and me losing the money and I was losing it, I was confused. What was my next step? I didn't have passion.
Because I wanted to see if it was my side because you were still chopping up. Go ahead, keep going.
Yeah. So, passion to sell a Kirby. So I was like, I lost that love for what I was doing. I said I didn't know what was next in my life. So all that brung out where I'm at right now. It's like I remember the most depressing day in my life. I was walking down the street with nowhere to go, just walking. I felt so lost. And I remember when I was up, I was driving. I was in New York. I went back to New York. I'm driving. And I look at this kid, and he had that same look in his eye while he was walking. And it reminded me. Then when I was at that point sliding down, I had that same feeling, and I know it was the same look of where am I going, and we all been faced with that, you know.
And how did you pull yourself out of that?
Well, first and foremost, it was God's help. God removed everything old from me. That means people, everything.
Yes.
And He gave me a new surrounding, which was my van, which was hotels, which was strangers, and then gave me more time with myself. And that's when I just started thinking, and that's when poetry came into my life. And then once I wrote that first poem, it was just like I knew my mission. I didn't know how to go about it. I didn't know the exact plans, but I knew there was something I needed to do.
So what did you do? Did you start reading up on poetry? Did you start going to open mics? How did you proceed?
Remember, it was dead COVID. I did my first poem. I went to write a video, make a video for it, because I was talking to so many people. They were like, yeah, I like that poem. And I was like, I'm going to get a video done for it. And then I was talking to comedian Freddie Bates. He's like, you should get a green screen behind it. So I went, started calling places, and I called a couple places, and this one white guy was like, hey, I'll do the video for free. I was like, I know, thank you. I'd rather pay one of my brothers, because I'm still selling Kirby's here and there. So I got a little bit of money. And I said, I want to pay some of my brothers and keep the money in the community. And I paid a black guy, and he tried to rob my poem and steal the poem. I mean, rob my money and steal the poem. I was like, what? So then the street side of me came out, got my money back, made sure he destroyed the poem, well, what he shot. And then I was like, man, I just got to hire anybody. So I called. Crazy thing is, the guy I got to shoot my video, he gave me a really good price. And after we shot the video, he was so hyped. He was like, yo, you got some more? So I started working with some more. And I didn't even know he worked for the company he worked for, shot the videos for Root Chris, Outback, all the major commercials. He was like, oh, man. Turns out he was to connect to a lot of things. And then I got a little brother who was in movies and everything, like real heavy, big name. And putting them two together put me a movie in place that should be on major screens very shortly.
Okay, excellent. So right now, let me ask you this, because there's a lot of people here who may not have ever heard of you before. I see Purpose. I see some people I know, Purpose and Resilience. He has a platform about purpose. Do you have any poems on purpose?
Yes.
Can you recite it?
I got you. Many find their purpose by mistake. Some say it's fate. Me, I say it's a chance you don't want to take. Find your purpose on purpose and live in it. Don't wait for God to humble you or see what the New Year's of summer do. Some of you don't take advantage of what many take for granted. Granted, I know it's hard to heal from self-inflicting scars, suicidal decisions made in a lifetime, but a new day is your lifeline. So who wants to be a millionaire? I can give you a million reasons it's not the season winning. It's you. Bottom line is your frame of mind at the time. See me, I only know I was a poet to the age of 43. That's damn near half a century, and God been sent for me. But I ignored the invitations by not checking my mail, thinking it was bills that was waiting, losing builds patience, and not in a good way. A good day is a new one. So don't awake to losing traits, losing faith, feeling safe, because it's nothing safe about living in your purpose. You're not worthless. You just don't know what worth is. Worth being valuable makes you do the impossible. So take that leap of faith. Don't cheat your faith. Come face to face with your fears. Them tears will water seeds of growth. Trees will grow. Gardens will flourish. There'll be seeds where there was once deserts, and you'll feel life again. So let the search begin for the light within, and may God bless you to find your purpose.
Wow. Now, Kamal, you said you went through a homeless period in your life, and I'm sure that with that happening to you, you did a piece on homelessness, I'm sure.
Yeah, I got one on homelessness.
I would love to hear the poem you wrote on homelessness, because that came from a place that you experienced. And I'm sure that now you have a heart for homeless people when you see them. And I'm sure you may have even said it to some of them. Have you?
Yeah, I have. I've always had a heart for homeless people. Period. I don't like to see people suffer. Period. I've never been That, like I say, I've never been that big of an asshole, but always had a heart for somebody suffering, no matter what they went through. There's a lot of people homeless living in the house. I speak the language of pain and anguish. I am poverty. I have a sign that says, "Can you spare a dime?" You laugh at me, but you don't know this life of mine. I am poverty. I don't know if you know this, but they gave me 6 feet before COVID. I am poverty, and society starving me. I'm a veteran, misguided adolescent. I'm hunger's true essence. I'm an ex-millionaire, a mother without a job. Who cares? I am poverty. I'm a child at night, afraid of the light. A father who's bothered when his children awaken and haven't eaten. I am poverty. And the funny thing, I don't understand the pain I bring. I mess up families, destroy neighborhoods. I'm a curse, the worst, the reverse. Steal from the poor, give to the rich. Robin Hood. I'm a for homicide, the gentle whispers in suicide. I'm a plague on this earth. I'm a genocide. I'm that mama, what's wrong when she have a soft cry? I'm grand larceny, armed robbery. Oh yeah, it's a pleasure to meet y'all. I'm Paul.
Wow. Now you said something in there. You were once a millionaire. So you've experienced being a millionaire and you've experienced being homeless.
Yeah.
What would you say to any human being that is everybody's trying to get to a million. Some people don't even know how to count. Some people don't even know how many zeros is in a million. You know what I'm saying? So it's so interesting. People think they want to have the money, but they don't understand what it takes to keep the money. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I can talk about that. Well, what it takes to keep the money, I can't talk about that because I ain't keep the money. But I can talk about what it takes to get the money. Takes, I mean, and whatever you call money. To me, I found out that wasn't real money. I didn't do it for the money. See, my passion was winning, and I didn't know that at the time. Then I turned my passion into the money, and that brought the sinful part. The money, to me, is fake, but you got to have a passion for something, and it can't be money, because if
That's
you got
right.
money,
That's what I wanted to hear you say.
who's gonna? When is it enough? You like, man, you got a passion. I want to be a millionaire, but when you get 40,000, you're like, this is comfortable too. I got 300,000. This is comfortable. So the way I just put it on being number one. Like, boom. Then once I became number one, the money started coming in. I'm like, I'm gonna be a millionaire, and then I see the money. Then I got the money, and then I'm like, what else is there? And a lot of us kill ourselves for that. We work 3-4 jobs to die. Our goal in life is to have a nice house and a nice car, but that ain't the true purpose. See, purpose is much deeper than a nice house and a nice car.
Come
Purpose
on now.
is much
Yes.
deeper than fake zeros in a fake account, which is ran by a fake government. Purpose is so much deeper than that. And when you're in your purpose, see, like a lot of people don't understand, you always ask yourself, why do millionaires and billionaires kill themselves or run themselves ragged off a bunch of drugs and everything? Because they know nothing else. They know the truth behind what you're fiending to get. I was blessed to go down that rabbit hole and find out it comes right back to the top. So, like what I do now is not for money, even though that worldly stuff is going to follow it. Like what people don't understand is like what kept me faith. Like when I told you the young lady took out the charges, I was locked up in jail for 3 months on a $500,000 bond for a misdemeanor. That was just one of the charges. I had a slew of way more serious charges. That I'm out on bail for over 100,000, different lawyers. Boom. And I lost my daughters, who I fought in court for to have custody because I'm locked up. They had to go back with their mother. Boom, boom, boom. I lost everything. And only thing that kept me sane was the story of Job. I ain't been story. The only thing I knew is God and the devil had a conversation. God was like, hey, Joel, that's my man. He's loyal. He's down for the cause. The devil like, nah, he's just down for the cause because he got everything. God like, nah, he's a trooper. The devil's like, let me at him. So God was like, okay, but you can't hurt him, but you can do whatever you want. Took everything from Joel. And that's the only part I knew of the story.
Wow.
And I'm like, I'm Joel right now. I'm being tested.
Yes.
That's the only thing that kept me strong. I'm in jail at 42 years old. I ain't been to jail. I was a street dude, but remember, I ain't been to jail since that time when my daughter is playing on my face. You feel me?
Yes.
10 years ago, something like that. I ain't been to jail since, you know? And I'm not a part of that life no more. You feel me? It's a different ball game. I lost everything. I'm used to going in stores, Gucci, Louis, and buying what I want, not because of the price. It's like,
Right.
all right, let me get that. You feel me?
Right. Some people have never experienced that. Some people don't know what it's like to go into a store and not to have to worry about what's in the bank account, what bill was paid. They just go and shop. That's a feeling that many people have never had. Some
Yeah,
people don't know what it's like to have to experience what you experienced when you made a decision because you didn't want your daughter to have to accept that as normal. That is so huge because we deal with a lot of our young people and our African Americans with recidivism. They on the cycle. They going back. They keep going. They keep going. They keep going. So I want to ask you, if you could do it all over again, what would you change?
I don't think I would change anything. If I changed anything, now I mess up the whole streamline. Um, Everything needed to happen in the way it needed to happen to build up for the future. The most thing I would probably change, if I had to change one thing, is my eating habits and my habits, like cigarettes. I mean, but at the whole course of everything that happened, I think needed to happen for me to even think the way I think now. I didn't even respect my women back then. Like, I
Wow.
respect myself. I mean, I would have sex with 2 or 3 women a day. Uh, I kept a young lady around just to watch my kids and to
Wow.
business
Wow. So
and
that's why you write like you write to the women, because you have some powerful poems about women.
yeah.
So that I think that must be a part of you making up for some of that. Do you agree?
I wouldn't say making up. It's at the end of the day, it's because I got to make up with myself even more because the me treating my body or treating my soul the way I've done. So it's just all around me, just seeing what I see and really talking about it because queens do need to be held high. You know, they need to be held high in all sorts. Like I just don't have powerful poems building them up. I also have powerful poems shining spotlights on stuff that should help build them up. Like remove that to me. I got the same poems for my kings. You feel me? Because I've been in a place where I've seen so much craziness, and I was a part of it. You know, I was a part of it. Like, and we're trained that way. Like growing up, you wasn't grew up. I wasn't supposed to like be proud to have a girlfriend. You just fucking the hoes. That's how it was, you know? You know, bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. That's what
Mm.
it's about, you know? And not knowing that you taking this sex thing, which is so powerful, it's a soul tie. Your penis, your vagina is a link to a soul. And you're actually connecting all type of crazy ties and you're doing this shit effortlessly, not knowing that we treating each other in such a way that we're degrading our whole nation, that
Yes.
we're breaking down the foundation of any growth that we can have by displaying what we display. We call each other niggas, bitches. I just want to shine a light on all that through my poetry. You
And
know?
so now you host an event. You're in Atlanta now, is that correct? So talk about that. How did that come about? Did you have a vision and is it coming to pass right now?
Yeah, I said I was moving to Atlanta. That's where I'm gonna build my foundation, and I'm gonna put everything in play. So right now, I'm in Atlanta. I got a show called Poetry versus R&B. It's at Cat's Cafe. I got the singers and the poets competing against each other, and the crowd gets to vote at the end who won. Yeah, so at the end of the day, I'm in negotiation with 3 major other establishments to host my poetry out of. Yeah, no, it's crazy. I just came from a Yandy Smith shop. She just did a drop for me, and she should be pulling up to the show. Scrap.
Wow. And if you have you ever been in North Carolina, been back to North Carolina and done a show here?
Yeah, I've done shows in North Carolina before.
In what part?
Greensboro, Raleigh.
Okay. Well, if you come back to the Raleigh area, let me know, because that's where I'm at. And I know some people that's doing some things. I would love to see you come here and do that, because, of course, right now, poetry is big. Of course, R&B is big, and it's always good to have somebody come in and do something different. But now, what's your number one poem for the ladies?
My number one poem for them. And they all love, I don't got a name for it, but they all love the when I do the one. You want me to do it?
Yes. So you don't have a name for it. So your number one poem, Set the Mood. What is it about?
It's just pointing out what women feel you need to see. So I better can say it than explain it.
Okay.
This is my poem I always say to the women, and it makes them feel good, and it makes me feel good for making them feel good. Your words are timeless. So forget the hourglass. You can make an hour last a day, maybe a week. That means thought to you remain after we speak. See, your well-being is my purpose of being. You've been blessed with a gift to prophesize, to see the world through a prophet's eyes. You inhale the pain of humanity and make your words cry. You can see it through a bird's eye view. Many will come, but few are chosen. Clothed in royalties attired, the robes of the true Messiah is dressed in a God's body. Instead of trying to ravish her body, get to know her soul, her goals, her deepest thoughts, her worries. That past she's trying to bury. She doesn't need to be convinced of her confidence. She just needs a shoulder to cry on, a friend to rely on. She just needs what she gives. Because fair exchange is no robbery, but larceny of the heart is dark. She's biblical, so you must know her art, because once that ship has sailed, all attempts will fail at getting her back, when she just needs you to have her back. See, her beauty would catch the eyes of all men. She's a goddess, so she's free of all sin. She just needs a God that's all in. The Lord's action is action that matches one another. So hopefully the God in me matches the God in she. And this is not a love joint. This is a love join through poetry.
Wow. And you don't write anything down?
Nope. Until after, when I'm copywriting stuff.
So does it come to you in your sleep?
Nah, it just comes to me.
And how long does it take you to memorize it?
I've been blessed.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing. So if somebody thinks they want to be a poet, what would you tell them to begin?
Explore you. Explore your thoughts. Write about things that affect you. Write about things that you see. Write about things you want people to talk about more, that you want to talk about. Express your soul. That's when it comes out the most natural. Like everything I write, I believe. So that's why it flows. And when you hear me talk, even when I'm halfway talking, you can feel it. So people want to feel you. I was talking to a great poet, Queen Sheba, today. And she was like, you got to be vulnerable for the people. Show them who you are. So, like I told her, all my poems, they reflect to me some way, somehow. So
vulnerability is important for poem. People have to be willing to go deep, be willing to be transparent.
Yeah, well, the funniest comedians are vulnerable. They give their stories around them. Rappers, their stories around them that really, so you got to be vulnerable.
Wow. Now, the young lady who put something in here is not letting me bring you up. You may have to follow me. If you're not following me, you won't be able to. It's a Yana. Her name is Yana. If anyone has any questions and you want to say something or give this brother his flowers, you are welcome to come up or put the question in the question box. I see here that Purpose Joe wrote that you were right, that you can't, money is not the answer. You have to have passion. You definitely have to have passion. So what next?
What God leads me to next. I mean, I got the movie. We're working on negotiations with a certain company. We ironing that out. I'm planning to have the biggest events in Atlanta and around the world. I'm planning just to reach my people, whatever I could do. So,
Helena, I'm trying to add you. Can you go out and come back in? Because it's not letting me bring you in. Helena, leave the live and come back in and send another request because it is not letting me add you. I see that you said you're following me. IG sometimes does some crazy things, you know, where we try to add people and it doesn't work. So it's possible, you know. So please let me know, and I'm happy to let you come in. Purpose. How'd you like that? How'd you like that poem about purpose? This brother right here, he does a lot. He can relate to a lot of stuff you talked about, and he's all about purpose. Purpose. You have anything you'd like to share with the young man? Let me know, because I know that you probably really enjoyed what he had to say about that. And Helena, I'm still trying to bring you in, and I'm so sorry. So tell the people where Cat's Cafe is if they are in Atlanta and they like to go, how much it costs, where they can reach you, if there's a website, or what they need to do to get a seat and get a ticket to come on out.
if you're in Atlanta, Cats is in Midtown. It's 970 Piedmont, and the show is April 20th. Advance tickets is $15. At the door is $20. Also, you can follow me, Kamal Speaks 1, everywhere on every platform. And inbox me for tickets. I have people inbox me all the time for tickets. We already sold about close to 90 tickets for the show.
How many does the place hold?
135.
So are you always looking for singers and poets to participate? And
Yeah.
when is this event every month? Is it a certain like third Saturdays, or is it a certain week every month?
Yeah, it's every third Wednesday of the month. Every third Wednesday of the month.
Okay, so it's every third Wednesday. I'm so sorry. It really is not letting me bring you in. I was on someone else's live and they were having the same difficulty. They could not bring the people in. So I do apologize. Okay, Purpose. I see you at your son's game. I definitely can't control it with Instagram. You know, but you are welcome to write in the comment what you wanted to say to the young man since you wanted to come on the live. You are welcome to put the question in the question box down below. If you had a question or if you have a comment, you can certainly put it down in the comment box, you know. Kamal, I want to thank you so much for sharing. I know that a lot of people know you because they know that you do poetry, but a lot of people don't know Kamal, the man, and the journey that you went through. And now you said that you would not change anything. And you acknowledged that through all of this, you found God, and God has definitely kept you. So do you minister when you're out there doing poetry as well?
Yeah. I minister everything I've been through. I minister by telling them what I learned and my experiences. I minister by just preaching my life and my opportunities and my downfalls and not sugarcoating it. So
The comments are back on now, young lady. I saw you said the comments are off because I see Purpose just put a comment. Joe put in here, the best teacher is your past. Keep shining a light in the, what did you say? Keep shining your light in the darkness. And he's definitely shining a light for sure. When you go back to New York, how is that right now? You know, I know when I go back to New York, it's depressing because some of the same people are doing some of the same things. It's unbelievable, man. Do you find that to be true?
it's a new New York, so it's not the same. But when I go back to New York, one thing I do feel good about is people be proud of my poetry. I had the most touching thing told to me. One of my homeboys said, man, every morning I wake up and I listen to your poetry. That inspires me. That's beautiful.
Wow. That's touching. Now, do you have a book? Have you put it in?
I'm writing a book right now.
Okay. Well, congratulations. Please make sure you keep us posted on the book, man. The book, the movie, and if you're interested in going to different states, put it out there. Let people know. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are in a state or you are looking for someone to come to your event to do poetry, or you need someone to come at your venue, he can bring this event to your venue. at the R&B, what is it, R&B
No, no,
versus poetry?
don't have to pay a lot. That's my event, so I keep it at a certain place. But to hire me, you can hire me, and I have to see my schedule. I've been booked a lot. I got a lot of upcoming events coming up. I got a lot of flyers I'm gonna be putting up. I've been being booked like crazy, so I thank God.
Okay, well, we got somebody who wanted to say something to you. This is
I,
Vanetta,
Yes.
V Fitness. Tell everybody where you are coming in from, and you got the floor.
All right. Yes. Hi, guys. This is B Fitness. I'm in Long Island, New York.
wait, can you hold on 1 second? Because I gotta put my phone on the charger. 1 second.
Okay, we don't want your phone to die. How are you? Congratulations on running the marathon and doing everything that you did. How did that work for
Thank
you?
you.
Did you win? Did you place?
It was actually a relay with my teammates. I did 2 legs of the relay. We came in 3rd overall, which was amazing. So
Okay,
yes.
excellent, excellent. Well, do you know this young man? Have you seen or heard him before?
No, so this is I mean, I top 10. This is the first time I'm meeting you. I'm just inspired. I'm totally by your story, by your poetry. It's just so amazing.
Thank you.
And the one thing I wanted to, I mean, so I just want to say thank you for sharing. I mean, that's powerful. I'm following you now. And the one major thing that that you said that's really resonated with me is the fact that you wouldn't take anything back, what you've gone through. A lot of times when you ask a question like that, people want to change the projection of what happened to them. But you, like what you said, that you wouldn't take anything back. It had to happen the way it happened. You've learned, you've grown, you're a better person for it. That's amazing.
Well, I say thank you. I mean, that's just what I feel genuinely. Like that's like saying take my children back. That's
Right.
Wow. Come closer or give us more light, because when you move back, you took yourself out of the light. So we need some light when you do that.
Yeah.
So that is amazing. Are you a poetry lover? Vanessa,
Myself, I do. I love listening to poetry. I don't write poetry. I don't write. I love listening to it and the flow and the way that you do it just from your head, and the way you just, you say it out there. That's amazing. That's great. You're not even thinking about it. You know it. You feel it. It's you.
exactly. I love your accent too.
Thank
I love
you.
poetry. I don't deal with.
That's my island. That's my island accent.
I love it. I used to be in Flatbush all the time. All the time.
Wow.
I just wanted to say thank you. And I'm following you now. So yeah.
Listen, I follow back. At the end of the day, I'm putting together. That's another show I am putting together. A big show in New York. My uncle,
Oh.
he was a part of the group. The song "I Always Love My Mama."
Oh, okay.
My favorite girl.
Yeah.
Well, he does a lot of big shows at Sugar Hill in Brooklyn.
Yes.
And like my career is taking off, and he's like, well, that'd be a good thing, uncle and nephew, poetry and singing. And he has a crowd of about 400 people when he do a show, big crowd. I'm gonna add about 150 to that, so it'd be about 600 people. And we
Oh, wow.
I gotta finish.
I look forward to that.
Yeah, post the flyer so people can support and go out there, because IG people, they're very supportive, so that's good. And did you enjoy that poem he did for the ladies?
I enjoyed every single one of the poems that you did tonight.
Thank you.
Every single one of them. Yes.
Well, I got one more. I want to see what you think about it. This is from my recent experiences, like me promoting and everything. I go up to many people in the street, a lot of females, and I've been getting this lately. So check it. Excuse me, miss. Can I be the first to say that dress looks nice? And I like the way you proportion your color assortment. The collaboration between your hair and nails, if all else fails, you got me with the smell. But here's the disclaimer, not the disclaimer, but sometimes a compliment is just a compliment. And not a failed attempt. See, what many fail to understand is the difference between a fuckboy and a grown man. Every hello and excuse me is not a word roofie. I'm not here to get you high off my words. It's just that your dress deserves a couple of words with nothing in exchange. I know, it seems strange, but chivalry is not dead. It's on life support, on trial at court by feminists, rappers, R&B. Forget it, the whole industry of evil energy portraying men as the enemy. Now, we're all held accountable for the men that mounted you and didn't return your phone call. So in your mind, no man can behave because of the choices you made. So that leads me to believe it's your insecurities that make you think me holding the door is something more. And you have the audacity to assume that you're my type. Like, forget my wife, my life, my hello turned into a light. But this is not Instagram. And that picture you posted ain't every man. And for the ones that are, show them that you're a star. Teach them who they truly are.
Wow.
And don't assume the worst. Because it hurts.
Right.
Wait, don't assume the worst. Don't be that white lady clutching her purse, because it hurts to be labeled unable to feel compassion, emotion, genius, to be labeled because of my penis. What you say when you take my hello the wrong way.
Wow.
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 Wow. What you think about that?
And very truthful. Deep and very truthful. Yes, you hit it.
Thank
That
you.
is so true.
Thank you. Like I said, my poetry is just to shine a light on stuff that happens that people know blindly but don't speak about.
Right.
I mean, if we get more conversations going, that's a part of change. The more people talk about it, the more people are aware, and the more the change can come. So conversations mean everything. And that's a problem we have nowadays. We don't communicate. We don't conversate. That's why so many failed relationships. And
Right.
I have, I've been through situations, like I'm looking for a wife right now. And I've talked to a couple of females, and I had one young lady said, well, you came to my house 3 times, you talked, but you didn't try to fuck me. I'm like, well, I'm not here for that. I'm here to get to know you.
Right.
I'm here to grow. I'm not here just for a fuck.
Right.
I've done all that corny shit. I need a wife.
Wow.
Right.
And that's good that you said that, because women need to hear that. And I'm so glad that you did a poem to let women know all men are not the same, because some people do tend to stereotype, and some people just, they stuck and they're going to miss out on life. And, people are not getting no younger, and they really have to be more open-minded. So it's good that you do that. And I know a lot more poets are doing that too. And I truly, truly hope that you find what you deserve. I truly do. Definitely.
I
will.
pray to God. And then another thing is, you just gotta, God gonna give you everything. It's gonna be an attraction. Like all my shows, I've had stars do drops for me. They just came to me, like at the perfect time. The law of attraction. You see what I said in the poem? The law of attraction is action that matches one another. So even if it's a yin and a yang, it matches.
Mm-hmm.
At the proper time, And the whole time I was homeless in my van, at first I was like, God, why are you doing this to me? Like, I don't deserve this.
Wow.
How
Let me ask you this.
Hold on. I just want to say that before I lose. I don't deserve this. My silly self don't know. I'm saying to God, I don't deserve this blessing you giving me.
Wow. Let me ask you this. There are many people that may be on this live. They may come back and replay this live, and they may turn their nose up every time they walk past a homeless person. One of the things I tell people is that we're all one paycheck away from being homeless. When the pandemic came, a lot of people lost everything. A lot of people closed their businesses, and many people had to go get assistance. What would you say to individuals to help them not to be so judgmental, or not to turn their head up the next time they go past a homeless person?
Well, to be honest, you can't just say a homeless person, because society right now is judgmental and turns their nose up at everybody. So you just gotta stop turning your nose up at everybody, because at the end of the day, you don't even know what that person's going through who turned their nose up. I had a young lady who I was talking to, and I was telling her to come to my show, and she was like, well, if you come to my show, I was like, okay, what you do? She said, I'm a stripper. I said, well, I don't go to places like that. And she was like, oh, you trying to be judgment? I said, I don't judge you. She's like, I only go there because I have to. I said, I'm not here to judge you. I'm telling you, I don't go there. It's a bad vibe for me.
Wow.
Period. And she was like, but I'm not like them other girls who doing all X, Y, and Z in the back. I said, I'm not judging them either. And who knows in their mind why they're doing that? It could be just in their mind why they have to do it, and it could be just in others' mind. I might hear the scenario they're in and say, shit, she had to do that shit. So I'm not here to judge anybody, because you never know what a person has to go through. So at the end of the day, I just say, hopefully we can all stop turning our nose up, not just at homeless people, but at every type of situation, because there's so many situations that right now we're ungrateful as a unit. We're
Yes.
ungrateful,
Come on now.
uneducated, and we need to really learn some things to grow. So that's the first step. We got to stop turning our nose up, period, and learn that, man, you're one step away. Fuck homeless. You're one step away from getting clarity.
I like that.
You feel me? Clarity. Not you want to go backwards. You always one step forward, one
Yes.
step away from clarity, and try
Yes.
to that step. Don't
Yes.
always focus on that one step backwards. You know,
Yes.
I got a poem talking about that. How we focus on all the crazy shit that surrounds us instead of the blessings that's right here with us. Let's just focus on those things.
Yes.
We'll be better. You know, I had to catch myself. I was on the phone with a young lady. I was like, listen, I can't do business with you no more because you mess with all the people who bring me bad energy, and I got to cut that.
Wow.
I don't take that back, but I went to go into all that, and I said, I caught myself. I said, listen, I don't want to talk bad about the people talking bad about me, because really I don't know nothing about them. I just know they don't like me. So I wish them the best, because if I don't wish them the best, I'm not going to get the best. I don't want to focus on that. I just want to protect my energy, so I'm going to move away from that. And the crazy part is, one of them people I ran into, and we actually talked and got to know each other.
Yes. Yeah. Now, I like what you said. You said you don't talk bad about the people who talk bad about you because you don't know them. Yeah. And so many people will just return that same energy. And so that's amazing.
And don't get me wrong, I don't want people, oh, he's such an angel. I've talked bad about the people. I had to catch myself. Like, hey, no, let me stop that. You know? It's like you being in a relationship with that person, that motherfucker or that stupid bitch, and but then y'all going to sleep together. That's some ass shit.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I truly thank you so much, Vanetta. I thank you for coming up too. I don't know if you had another comment you want to say, but so Kamal, you just witnessed what you do as a poet. You just won over someone who said she really wasn't really into poetry, but yet she caught it. It's like you put it out there and she caught it. And so that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Being able to get the attention of someone who really doesn't normally listen to poetry. That happened on another live I was on tonight. There was another young lady who said she wasn't really into poetry, and someone was telling her, well, give it a shot, because if you listen to singing, those are poems in the songs.
Well, rap, poetry. I mean, some of the best poets. Malcolm X is a poet. Martin Luther King was a poet. Poetry is words that catch your attention, that moves your soul, moves your motion. That's it. I got a question for the young lady. You said congratulations. You ran a marathon?
Oh, yes, I ran marathons, but the race that I recently did was the Civil Rights Run, and it was a relay. So it was a team of 9 of us, and we ran from Selma to Montgomery, which is 52 miles. And I did 14 miles of the 52. So I did 2 legs of it.
So you're a car.
And our team took 3rd place overall, which was amazing.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. Well, and I say that's very dope. Like, people don't know. Like, I've been forced to work out. Because, like, I don't got a car no more, so I walk about 5-10 miles a day.
Right.
I do a lot of work of walking because I'm always doing my poetry focus, and I just thank God for where I'm at right now. I see so much more stuff. And I remember I told this guy, right? He was messing with the girl who I was selling books with, right? And I was like, yeah. I said, that's why I get more girls than you. He said, "Cause you walking, you can see them better." I'm driving.
Oh, oh. Well, you know, she's in shape. She's a trainer also. So tell the people how they can follow you also, because you do some things out here on IG. She's very effective out here. She does a couple of lives.
Yeah, well, my Instagram is vfitnesshealth_, and my website is vfitnesshealth.com.
Well, I'm following you, and hopefully
I'm on every morning. I do classes at 6 a.m. and then again at 10:30 a.m.
I might
daily.
tune in because I need.
So come on my live and do some workout with me.
Yeah, that's what I might do, and I might be able to teach people how to work out who ain't got cars. So
There you go. Absolutely. I run everywhere. If I can, I run. People think runners are crazy, but I take the opportunity and I run. I run to the store if I need to. If I'm not carrying anything heavy, I would run.
Wow. So you don't catch buses or get in a car or ride a bike?
No, I do have a car, but if I need to go to the post office, I'm not taking my car. I'm running there. If I have to go to the grocery, then yes, I will take the car because I have stuff. But if I'm not carrying anything, I would run there. I run to work.
Wow.
If I'm going into the city for work, I would run until I could catch the bus along the way, but I would run.
How far is it?
It's
to
about
work?
I usually would work in the city. I go into the city.
How many miles?
So I would catch the train, but I would run to the train station or run to the bus.
Wow.
That's my training, to get my training in, because I have runs coming up, so I would do that to get my training in.
that's so
get
good.
my miles in. So
I love that. You dope as hell. Can you turn the comments on?
Yeah, I had turned them off a minute ago. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you're dope as hell. I love that you're working out 24/7. Keep that up. I wish I could say that my new poem is covering all that I'm working on. Yeah.
All right.
So I think that's dope as hell. Also, we had my boy Rodney Perry come through. That's dope. I mean, man, it was a dope show. Let's give it up for your host, y'all. Give some fire emoji.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we appreciate you, man. We appreciate you spreading the love. We wanted, we don't show each other enough support. And also, I wanted you to be able to tell your story, because as we listen to each other out here, Vanetta has told her story. It helps us to understand people better, as we support them, as we see them go live. It's what it's all about. This is the new way of life. The internet is the new way of life. If those of us that are out here, if we're going to be out here, we may as well find out what we need so we can find out how to support one another too, So that's what this is all about. This platform is called Story Time. So if you are out here and you have a story, this is your invitation to come and share your story too. I mean, because your pain wasn't for you, it was for somebody else. And if you overcame that barrier, now you can show somebody else how to overcome it. Or if you've succeeded in something, you can show somebody else how they can succeed. Or just encourage them, because sometimes they need to know that they're not the only person going through whatever it is they're going through. And just to hear it, I mean, it just makes all the difference in the world. I get DMs and messages for people who telling me thank you. I know you get DMs for people with your exercising. I know you probably get DMs with your poetry. I mean, people are watching and people need it. You got people that are homebound. You got people that are sick. You have people that are lonely. You have people that are depressed. People are in so many different states of mind. So we're doing our due diligence by using the internet. So Kamal, I'm not going to keep you. I appreciate you being out an hour.
I want to be. I just want you to pull Gina in real quick.
Who, Gina?
Gina, Auntie Gina.
Is she in here? Tell her to send a request. Okay, Bernard, thank you
so much. Bye. I appreciate you.
Tell her to send a request.
Gina,
ask her to come in here.
Wait, you should see her in the list.
I don't. Gina, send me a request, because I don't see it in the list.
Is she still? Oh, she ain't in there no more?
I don't see it in the list. Let me tell her to come in here. Yeah, I love Gina. I'm so excited about the R&B and the poetry. I'm telling you, I was tempted to
gonna win?
Huh?
Who you think gonna win, R&B or poetry?
I don't know the poets. No, and I don't know all the singers.
Period. Who's gonna win? I want to hear everybody in the comments. Poetry or R&B?
Hey,
Who y'all pick?
So I believe it could be either or. I believe that depending upon how people deliver, you know, everybody has a gift, and depending upon how they use their gift, that's going to determine who wins.
Thank you. I got a poetry up there.
Yeah. So somebody said poetry. You know, I think that Gina's going to get it in. She's going to, man, I go and I listen to her on YouTube. I love the stuff that she has written. She's gifted, man. She's gifted. You're gifted in poetry, you know. So I think everybody's going to win.
Now, I think poetry is going to win. Poetry.
That's what you like to think. Poetry is going to give it, you know. I have some people in Atlanta, and, you know, when the weather breaks, I might have to come out there one Wednesday because I'm off on Wednesday. So I might come out there and check it out.
This show now.
Say that again.
Why don't you come to the show this Wednesday?
On the 20th, I have to see what the flights look like.
Go ahead and see what that. I want to see you there.
The flights have been kind of crazy right now. You know, that's the industry that I'm in.
North Carolina?
Huh?
You in North Carolina?
Yes.
You know it's only 4.5 hours. Drive.
Oh, you talking about driving, man? I don't drive. I'm spoiled. I'm spoiled. Man, I mean, I will drive to Maryland because my daughter's in Maryland. I go there frequently, but I try not to drive if I don't have to. I jump on a plane in a minute. I just like to get there quick, you know, because I mean, I'll do a day trip in a minute. I will come. That's not a problem. If the flight look good, I would be there. You look up and be like, oh, she can. Because I've been tempted. I've been checking it out. I've been sharing the flyer. I was like, man, I would love to do this. I would really love to do it. But see, I was going to come last week for the culture tour, but the flights were crazy.
Listen,
so
I would love to see your beautiful face in the crowd.
I'm going to check you out because it might not be this Wednesday, but I'm going to surprise you. I'm going to come when you least expect it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are anywhere near Atlanta, please follow Kamal Speaks. Please go see his show on Wednesdays. What time is it on Wednesdays?
Doors open at 7. Show starts at 8:30.
I got one more question for you, and I want to allow you to give some closing comments as we bring this to a close. Does your daughter do poetry?
No, they don't do poetry. I got 2 daughters.
You got 2 daughters now?
Yeah. 14 and 19.
Wow. And so they don't do poetry. And I'm sure you crazy about them baby girls. I know you are. Daddy, baby girls.
I love my daughters. That's my baby.
Yeah. Do you think if you didn't have those daughters that your life would possibly have been different? Because you said that was your motivation with your daughter.
Yeah, my life would have always been different. You take out one aspect. I know Gina asked me what part of your body you love the most. I said my whole body, because if you take one part away from it, I mean, that's crucial. You feel me? You take a pinky away, that affects you a lot, whether you know it or not. So if I took my daughters away, of course, my life would be affected in so many different ways if I never had them.
Wow. I want to ask you this one question as we get ready to wrap this up. You know, many people, when they listen to poems, they rhyme. And a lot of times people can't appreciate a poem because they're so used to hearing it, you know, roses are red, violets are blue, you know. But when you hear a good poem and it doesn't rhyme, if somebody's out here and they want to do poetry and it's a name for it, what do you call a poem that doesn't rhyme again? It's a name for it. I forgot what that is.
I don't know the name of it, but I've poems that don't rhyme that are dope.
Yeah.
Dope, I don't care. As long as it's got a good message, I really couldn't care.
And have you ever done your poem while somebody's playing their music in the background, jazz or something?
Yeah, I've done that. I don't like it, but I like for me to be heard and only me focus on me, because I think it distorts my words.
Got you. But I'm gonna tell you something though, man. You take them poems you be doing for them ladies and you put some the right music to that thing, and you know, make sure it don't drown you out. Woo! Man, they'll be eating out of your hands, man. Just put that music down low and you throw them words out there like you do. Whoo, man. I'm telling you, try it. It would be really good. Well, listen, man, I want to thank you so much. Do you have any closing comment?
Well, I just want to say, everybody, be yourself. Be blessed to have a chance to be yourself. Dig inside you. You never know what kind of power or talent you have, because God has really gave me a talent that has been there, obviously, forever, that I let lay dormant, and really get to know yourself. We're so
Yes.
occupied with everything, rent, bills, what he or she said, what's the new favorite color, what's we preoccupied with everything but ourselves. Get to know who you are, and trust me, you worried about a relationship, the best relationship you can have is with yourself, because once you understand yourself, you can give more of you to that other person. So that's
Wow.
that's the best.
And be true to you when you find out who you are.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry about what society says, what other people say, if there's nobody else like you. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be different. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Kamal Speaks 1. If you hit the arrow on the top, please follow him. Please make sure you share this video and let them know that Kamal Speaks is out here on Instagram, and he's doing his thing on the poetry scene. My name is Crystal Bodie Smith. If you know someone else who has a story, please send them my way and just let them know this platform is open. It's a no judgment zone. They can come in, they can share what they need to share, and we have a listening ear. I want to thank you for coming out, Kamal. I want to thank you all for being here. Once again, we appreciate you. Let's be there for one another. Let's support one another. You heard what he said. Let's show each other some love. My mission is to stir up the gift, instill hope, and save lives. Come back and meet us next week. We have some more people. Next week is actually going to be insurance. We're going to be talking about insurance on next Wednesday. It's going to be about having enough funeral expenses to be met with that policy. You know, we got some stuff we're going to be talking about. I also have a young lady coming in that's going to do some meditation. We got a lot of good stuff coming up, guys, so be ready. Okay, thank you so much. My name is Crystal. I want to say peace and keep hope alive, and we'll see you again on Story Time. Bye-bye. Thanks, Kamal.
Thank you.